What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily horoscope for Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Shout out to all the subscribers to the website. Truly appreciate you for your subscription. If you're not a member, please do subscribe for more daily content like this every day, as well as a sun or rising weekly horoscope and a weekly tarot show and a place to hang out, a chat, access to a Facebook group. So do hope to see you there. It's $5 a month, so definitely not breaking the bank, and it's a great place to hang out and support the content, and I truly appreciate it. If not, happy to come out here and deliver some content. Wanted to share today's horoscope with everybody because this is one of the most unique horoscopes I've seen, and I've done over 300 of these video horoscopes over the last year, and we've seen so many big transits over the last year, and this one just kind of blows everything apart in so many different ways. So let's dive in and take a look at the chart today and see what's going on. We're going to have that sun at 29 degrees. So that anaretic degree of Aquarius, this is definitely as edgy as it gets when it comes to the Aquarian energy. And this can have people outcasting themselves, doing things completely different, or it's going to have you making major breakthroughs in your life. And I think that that's kind of where we're at with today's energy, is you're either being caught off guard, expecting something that's not going to show up, or you're on your own vibration and you're in your own sort of sense of sovereignty and freedom, and you're just going to make it happen for yourself, because we got Saturn exactly square Uranus today. And not only is it just exactly square Uranus, which we've been feeling build up over the last few weeks and even a month, really, we got the moon with it, so we're really going to feel it today. That moon on Uranus is going to have our feelings shaken up. There's definitely an edgy electricity in the air today, and with Saturn square Uranus, this is one of those days where whatever you think is going to go down, and even just your personal life, don't get too caught up in things looking one certain way or one certain outcome, because this is a day where anything can happen. And even when you look at a bigger scale of where we're at, we're looking at major cold temperature going across the United States and other parts of the world. We're looking at like record snow, record cold, ice. And this is really one of those days where you actually do have to learn how to kind of ice skate through a very slippery reality, one that's changing and moving in different directions. Saturn being our structure, it can be governments, politics. Things are just not going to go just according to plan. There is something bigger. There is Uranus here, even though it's weak in Taurus, which would be what some would consider the fall position of Uranus, and it is a strong Saturn. This is still a major, shattering sort of energy that's shifting the way we've kind of come to, or even been programmed into thinking things need to look and where they need to go. And with all this Aquarius energy in the chart, as well as Taurus, it's like you're either feeling like you're stuck and stagnant and can't move forward with the things that you want in your life, or you're going to make these major breakthroughs. And yeah, I would say that it can be a hard day emotionally, especially with the moon square Saturn with Uranus. Whenever the moon and Saturn square off, like, it is not comfortable. These two energies do not get along. They are the complete opposites. And even with the moon exalted in Taurus here, it's no match for Saturn in Aquarius, especially with Uranus there. So, I mean, this is, in a sense, a day where we can feel kind of like we're in this bathtub of reality, and a toaster just got dropped in the bathtub. And I'm not saying we're all just going to get electrocuted and die, but this is one of those days where it's going to be hard to feel comfortable. And I think the more comfortable you will feel in a day like this is just by doing things differently, not expecting a certain outcome. If you're going to be too set on something to feel comfortable or to bring some sort of comfort or value into your life that isn't coming from your own independence or own frequency of yourself, it's going to be hard. This is not going to be a comfortable day. Unless I suppose it can be, but with so many squares, I would say we can't expect that, especially with a Mercury that is really stationing here, going very slow at 11 degrees. I'll clear that up a little bit. Mercury's going to station at 11 degree 1 minute. So Mercury is really putting the brakes on here to go direct on Saturday the 20th. That moon's going to square that Mercury today after it deals with Uranus and Saturn. So then all of a sudden we come into this place of feeling like we can't just express emotions, or having blocks up when it comes to communication or expressing our values, or even looking and trying to connect all these dots. And we look at Mercury here, and it is right in between Jupiter and Saturn. So it's like we're trying to figure out these structures in our life. We're trying to connect all these dots, but we're in retrograde. We're reevaluating where our future's taking us, where the collective's going, and how to, embrace our own unique energies. And it's like we're trying to see the big picture. We're trying to see the more macro, the more micro, and we can get lost here, and we can get lost emotionally and trying to find our comfort and trying to find the things that make us feel good. It's like the things that even made you feel good yesterday when the moon was in Aries, even squaring Pluto, which was kind of a hard way to go through yesterday, but it almost like forced out, like, are you ready to take action for what's important in your life and move forward in that direction? It's almost even like just what you did to get through that transit yesterday isn't going to bring that comfort. It's got to be different. It's got to be, you just have to be able to skate through and pivot. And I think that with that North Node in Gemini, it really is, especially with Jupiter getting ready to trine that North Node only 2 degrees away. It's like the gift is really focusing on your environment, because with Saturn square Uranus, we can see earthquakes, volcanoes. It's not even just governments and aspects that we've been so ingrained into society that are shifting and turning. This is literally the earth and our physical reality that could be getting shaken up and stirred in some unpredictable way. And we haven't even seen this third quarter square from Saturn to Uranus since 1977. So it's been a long time. Many of us haven't even experienced this transit. I'm one of those people, born in 89. So interesting times that we're going through, very edgy day, very hard emotionally to, I think, be able to not only express our feelings or have deep conversations, because emotions can be all over the place, and just a storm going on of trying to figure out what exactly do we want in this physical world. When it comes to money, I think money gets brought up big time. I think that relationships get brought up big time, especially with Venus in Aquarius at 20 degrees, applying that square to Mars in Taurus at 21 degrees, that we're going to start feeling more and more, even as Mercury stations to go direct. We're going to be getting that exact. Today, when it comes to relationships, there has got to be some sort of common ground when it comes to values and the direction that things are going to, from the vibration to what the future goals are, to the deepest desires. If we want to see the beauty, if we want to see the balance, there has to be some sort of common ground. And if there isn't, you're going to know it today. We look at all of our personal planets. We got the moon, we got Mars, Venus, Mercury. They're all making squares today. There is nothing that's just in a harmonious aspect. This is a day that's forcing some very unique aspects into our life and having us take a really good hard look at what is of the ultimate value. What is the future that we want to move into as a collective, or even just as individuals, and who are we moving in that direction with? I think the people are very important. Today's one of those days where you're going to know if people are on your team, part of your tribe, or if they're not. If absolutely fights, aggression can come out today. We're probably going to see it through media. Today is not going to look as you expected, whether it comes to your personal life with relationships or just looking out into the world. And I think, of course, we can all handle this differently. And I would say that if you can get through today, you're pretty much on a very, very good divine frequency and divine path, because this is a day that is trying to shake up all aspects of reality, from our relationships to our money, our values, our communication, our mind, our beliefs. There's nothing that's being untouched by a forceful kind of aspect today. So it's a big one. And I think that the more we can focus on our community, our environment, what's close to us, looking for some twin-like energy, understanding the dual nature and still looking for facts, still looking for the truth about the people in our lives, about the societies that we're a part of, the overall direction the collective's moving, and trying to make sure that you still can hold your vibration on a day like this, because it's shaken up and stirred, and it can be extremely difficult to find a sense of value or comfort in our physical world today with the moon on Uranus square Saturn. So it's very this is a day that, we'll see how it manifests, right? But it's likely one that, might not be forgotten. Something big could come out of nowhere. And it is the first of 3 squares that we're going to see with Saturn and Uranus. So strike ones here. We're going to see where it takes us, especially with the moon right there. We're going to feel this. We're going to feel this day. All of our personal planets, and even Jupiter is in the mix too, getting a late evening, if you're on the West Coast, a late evening square with the moon as well. And if you're on the West Coast, or in London or on the other side of the world, you're going to start feeling that more on the 18th. But nonetheless, this is a major day to really get to the bottom of our values, really get to the bottom of our connections in life. If you're on edge about something, it's for a reason. If you're forced to look at connections, friendships, groups, people, money, this is a day where, whatever gets forced out, it's meant for a reason. I think Uranus is ultimately trying to accelerate us and push us towards change that's always for the better. But we got to learn how to kind of, maybe take the risk to do some sort of experiment in our life that we never thought of taking today. And maybe that's what something great, pops up and innovates from today. And even if it doesn't, it's not a bad thing. It's just today's going to show us something about our personal lives and about the collective, and about like where society and structure is really going. And where's that going to be? We don't know. And we're going to likely not know right away. We still have this Mercury stationing, and it's still going to have to come out of a shadow period once it does go direct. It's going to meet with Jupiter again. So we're still going to see this big macro, micro picture, try to connect all the dots here in Aquarius. It's a strange day, strange times, powerful day. Definitely could force greatness. Remember, squares, today's almost like I hate to say it, but it's like having a big pimple popped. And sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's painful, sometimes it's gross. But afterwards, sometimes there's a sense of relief. So we'll see what happens after today. Maybe it does bring a sense of relief and kind of shock us into the frequency of the right connections and values that we're looking for. Or at least try and get us on the path to make sure that we're looking for the right information and truths in our life. And I think the more we can focus on our immediate life and our environment and not get too lost in what is going on in the world, but still be aware of it and make good decisions based on it, but more about the decisions that are best for your own personal frequency and the connections in your life. It's a high tension day, to say the least, and we'll see if it forces greatness and innovation that moves the whole collective forward in a positive way, or if there's some sort of strife and some sort of chaos. This is rebellion energy. So where the rebellion's going to take place, they could happen where, hopefully not in your life. Definitely hope that you're able to get through this. It's an interesting day, to say the least. So I am curious to see how it manifests as well. But it's one of those days where whatever you expect, it likely isn't going to happen. So don't put all your eggs in one basket that today is going to look a certain way, or you might get let down, and that might be sort of the shocking reality shift that we have to go through today. Is almost a humbling effect of how much control do we really have? And how do we handle and kind of move forward and innovate through maybe a hard day like today? See what the card is for the day. Yeah, it's the moon card. So it's definitely it just seems like unpredictable changes are taking place, and I think we're really gonna feel it on a personal level, and it probably is gonna bring up some magical insight that comes through our intuitive senses and does try to guide us in a new direction. But what's gonna come up? What's gonna be brought to light? What's the reflection gonna be after all this? And it's interesting times. I think that we have to be receptive to the signs the universe is giving us today, and it's almost like you don't want to force things today. If it's not fitting, there's a reason. Trust your intuition. If your intuition's saying that it's this isn't going to illuminate and innovate a new path forward that's going to be better for you, or it's not the right connection with people, you don't try and force something or try and force other people into going in the direction that you see it going, because this is one of those days where people can want to go in different directions for different reasons, and it's almost like a major frequency match, and it's like, do frequencies match with the values of the other frequency? And only you will be able to figure that out in your own personal life. And I think the more you can go with the flow, the better today. But the flow is going to be all over the place and erratic, so it's this sense of getting comfortable with a pivot, getting comfortable with skating around things to find comfort in our lives when it might seem like an impossible or just difficult feat, but I think we can get through it. It'll be an interesting day to see how it manifests. I appreciate you all so much for joining. Please do become a member if you would like to see more content like this on the daily. I love you all very much regardless, and sending you my best. I hope that this day manifests in the best way possible for you in your personal life, and that's at least what I can put out there to the universe. But we'll all see how it goes, including myself. I don't know what today is going to bring for myself either, but I'm here for it. Let's go through the ride. Let's see how it goes, and keep your vibe high, keep your frequency up, and do the things that make you feel good today. At least try to, and don't expect them to show up in some certain way. Just if things shift and change and you feel the electricity or in some other direction, maybe that's the direction you need to go, and maybe that's where the ultimate value and payout is, even if it's something that maybe you couldn't have predicted before. I love you all very much. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday on one of the craziest transits of a day I've personally ever seen. So we'll see how it goes. Love you all. Catch you next time. Peace.